We join back in with our adventurers after last week. Volu and Eleni had discovered some information from Alar Moonshadow, though he needed some more investigations and proposed a potential excursion down into the catacombs to take place within 3 days, should they be interested. Dante and Ichi worked tirelessly to clear the corrupted from the temple, and working with Arcanair have managed to create the first of what could potentially be a temporary solution in that Dante is able to pass on into almost magical, using a magical ritual, using Zikar and a bowl of water taken from the waterfalls of Astera. Basically, Dante, for like the last 4 hours, you've been sat just like channeling fire into this bowl, while Arcanair says ritual things around you.
What was that film where you slap the water?
Oh, I don't know, but I know you mean.
No, it was an Arrow, wasn't it? Like I don't know if it's a film, but you slap the thing of water, and then you go, right, now slap this piece of wood, and you go smash.
That doesn't happen for Dante. However, we left off as the players had headed to bed, having sent a message to Thaddeus, and you did get a message back saying the lead case was done to come up and to bring Dante. However, your raven returned, but there was no message or other such thing affixed to it just yet. So you sort of awake in the sort of late morning light. For all of you, though, not a crazy hectic day, quite a lot of stuff going on. Dante, especially, you wake up fairly tired and sore. Everything seems a little bit more calm, though, this morning in the air, and there's the gentle hum of the normal temple comings and goings happening. The tension from the chaos early in the week seems to be settling, and hopefully with Arcanair able to have talks with the leaders and a seat at the council, potentially calming and alleviating some of the city, if not lifting the quarantine. Though you might want to hold off until you're sure you've.
Is there stories of me being the Messiah like starting to spread?
Please say no.
No.
At least let me roll for it.
No, there's definitely stories of like a glowing flamed angel, like, but it's that sort of description as opposed to, because you've got to remember that in their corrupted senses, they're like hazed over, foggy people, and then just like this flame person appears and burned away, that sort of thing. So there's those sorts of stories emerging, but nobody was compos mentis enough to know who Dante is.
Before doing anything, Dante wants to create business cards.
I mean, if you want to try and generally push and sort of promote it, you can. But I'd ask for a persuasion.
Lol.
I want to fuck with this. Like, how do I stop this from happening?
You weren't there for most of it.
I was. If he makes business cards, I'm going to have Rufus eat them. I'm going to dip them in sausage fat.
Persuasion. I was reading perception, thinking, -1. It's +3. 18.
Okay. You'll find out the ramifications.
I'm sure I need like 2 nat 20s or something. Like.
I am going to at some point wander up to Dante and very quietly say, please could you remember that I don't really want to be found right now, and the less attention on us, the better.
That is fair. I shall keep my messiahing to a limit.
Thank you.
To be honest,
Not
actually,
a
I kind of
messiah.
in my mind, that's more just like I kind of wanted it just a story to get out, like about there's this guy. Not so much Dante doing it, but just like
If you want to just put a story out but not be the person, then I can have.
I mean, what the hell is the point of that?
He's not
Like,
a messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yeah.
But yeah, so you would be able to wake. The priests are moving around a little more subdued. There is a small tray of breakfast laid outside your rooms.
I'm
a little
gonna
bit, a
try
little
and
bit
eat all the
more.
breakfasts.
Yeah, a little bit more.
That wasn't a side comment. I am going to try and eat all the breakfasts.
Yeah, I'm aware. Luckily, Lenny is also aware. But yeah, the breakfast is a little bit more substantial, and you can sort of almost a small little thank you from Arkana, a bit more varied. There's some fruit, some fresh things that have been gathered, and you're able to sort of wake and have a nice breakfast, thinking about what you're going to do today. Thaddeus has obviously said you can go up whenever.
What do we want to do first?
I don't know if there's time for this or not, but I think everyone was there when I did this. I know Ichi definitely was, but it's been 1 week since I looked at you. It's been roughly, I think it's been roughly about a week or two. When was the last time? When did it was before we left to go to the water that I tried to reach out to Tenebris.
Yeah, true.
And I know that it takes time for him to answer, whether it's for the lulls of him or just because he has nothing but time to consider. Should I consider maybe speaking to him to perhaps being able to wield the sword again and have information on the corruption? He has it. We need it.
My only concern around that is, how can you trust anything that he tells you?
I don't.
So then his information is worthless.
It could be, or we could compare it to other things. We research, if research is being done by the people here.
I know we've read Tenebris of you, but I still don't trust when you say stuff like this.
I mean, we would do it in the magic circle, of course. I wouldn't do this anywhere else. But
I think it has to be your decision, Dante.
I'd like the support of the team.
Well, I'm happy to be there outside the circle and make sure that nothing harms you while it's happening, but I don't know. I don't trust him at all.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't trust him at all. But he has still got information that we don't have. And though we are curing and we are getting somewhere, we're also a target from the people of the Fireplay.
That is true. Although they've not shown their faces recently.
It's because the sword has been put away in a different thing, but we can't.
Surely that's a good thing, and we should continue doing what's working.
Yes, to a point, but all it takes is someone to take the sack and turn it inside out and bang. So instead of having people call and constantly being like, look at us, maybe at least a truce of some kind.
Ichi would chime up when you say the only thing you can offer him is his freedom. That is it. Imagine if the roles were reversed and one of us was trapped in some way, and then that person came to you saying, okay, truce. The first thing you would ask for is their release.
I don't need to imagine what that is like.
But it's still true. Why would
It-
he give us anything with nothing in return?
We can, even if it is, say, he has people in charge of him. He has leaders that are looking for him. I'm thinking either we make some sort of parlay with them.
But again, that
But if-
parlay immediately ends with the release of Tenebris. Are you happy with him being free and able to do whatever he wants?
Depends what they want with him. If they want to, like, I would say burn him alive, but I probably really wouldn't do anything.
Even then, if we can't trust him, we know them even less. We don't know if we can trust them. They could again.
Yes,
they
but
could even give us a reward and say that they're going to imprison him and then just let him loose.
They could, but I'm thinking the two things that we have issues with is that we could still be tracked, and he has information that might be useful to us. I would like to be able to take that information. He's also a very prideful being. I'm not sure if you noticed. And the fact that I mean, I don't understand, but I wasn't chosen, so to speak. But
I think I have a problem with us doing this before we have a better way of dampening the swords being located. I think if we had something now on the hilt or something on the sword that could stop the location, then in a way you could have as many conversations with him as you like with the sword out in the magic circle, and we know we're not going to get jumped by those weird dwarven things or weird fire elements.
Can people scry into a magic circle?
Magic can't pass the barrier, I don't think.
So that...
No, I don't think. I don't think magic can appear. You like go through in that sense.
I mean, technically it can, because if I was to fire a spell in it, it's a concentration check.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then. So I believe it's been. We've been running it as safe. So
yeah, that's what I thought we had been.
Because we'll say that the specials iron stable ones are
the room's made of lead.
Yeah, the whole room.
Yeah, like from top to bottom, it's made of lead. And it's
horrendous for your bodily health, but great.
It's been blessed by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Holy water at the ready.
I think it's a mistake, but I don't think it's possible.
If that's the case, then I won't do it.
I think each would say, I'm not against trying to parlay with them. I do not want to be chased forever either, but like I said, I don't see any solution in that outcome that doesn't end in his release.
It might be what he wants as a step towards it, but he's a proud being, and he's failed. Remember when I challenged him,
his pride won't matter if we're dealing with his boss.
So
none of his opinions matter if we're dealing with his boss.
So this is why, like when I brought it to his attention the first time round, and you told me to not act like him. This is me not acting like him. And trying to get him, because they don't just want they want him and they want me.
But right now you're safe. They don't know where you are.
I don't see how that changes if you start wielding the sword.
Then I will not bother.
Maybe something for when,
like Lenny said, let's explore other avenues first, but I just don't think it's the right thing to do right now.
That's fine.
So there was the mention yesterday. I don't know how much it's purely up to you, Dante. Now that they have, so they currently have one brazier that they can sort of use. If you were to make the other 3 today, it would take you all day. It's up to you whether you want to sort of do a bit, take a break, go see Thaddeus, or go see Thaddeus, come back, do some then. Like, it's up to you which way around you want to do it. The one they've got for now, they've already started sort of clearing the final few people from the temple. And then they're going to start heading out to the quarantine houses. And I don't know how much, Dante, again, purely up to you. You're welcome to go with if you want. But once they have, every team has a brazier with them, they should be fine.
How many people did we cure? Was there anyone who died in that fight at all? Guard or person?
Oh, so two of the guards were cured. Ichi and the other 3, unfortunately, all just saved. Even with I think I gave them 3 consecutive rolls. But yeah, so they're holding out still. Though it was mentioned to Alar Moonshadow that there is a bunch of researchers now that are cured that can go down. That's who they're going to sort of pick from for the expedition.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you still need to message if you want definitely in on that.
I mean, I'm assuming we've made it round most of the priests. Do we need to do any more of the guards? Generally,
You've done
the ones that came to the temple, but
you've done all the ones that have been in the temple. Now it's sort of just they're dealing with the final ones here, and then they've set up the first. You muted. Oh, I didn't hear anything from you. They set up the first brazier by the front door, so now as people come, they can just sort of almost be washed down with a cloth, and even though it's also being they're waiting for the quarantine to sort of get approved of lifted, and then they're sort of thinking that they'll just, like I said, if you can get it dealt out in the steam, that'll be a great way to do it.
It would require a lot of water.
Well, and a lot of enchantment. But it would mean that you could do entire areas as opposed to having that person go around and do it.
Yeah, people doing control weather.
Well, yeah, and what about
it'd have to be you. Well, so again, the brazier water is the special water from the waterfall of Astera. It's not just standard water.
So you need water to create steam or to even create clouds. But as long as there's some of the brazier water in that, would that not disperse it?
Yeah, that's the thing. No, this is it. You don't have to fill the thing. It'd almost be in my mind that you
1 part to 4 part,
or you disperse like a 24-hour burst, but that gives you a coverage of a time that it's pumping out or whatever. But yeah, you still need to talk to Thaddeus about that. You've sort of told him that you might need to talk to him about something like that, but you've not actually.
Have we heard anything from Madam Oracle at all?
Nothing.
Okay. Did my raven come back though?
Yes, it did. So yeah, it's about mid-morning. Nobody's really, for the first morning in a little while, nobody's like pestering or like really needing anything of you immediately. As you're sort of finishing up breakfast and finishing up getting ready, you can hear the sort of procession of, there's a few guards and stuff in terms of Arcanet, sounds like they're going somewhere. If any of you sort of pop their head out, they will say a council meeting to discuss what we have found. And you can see there They won't take. They're not going to take. They were going to take one of the bowls to demonstrate, but for now, if there's only one, they'll leave it. But they're sort of heading out to do that straight away.
Can I just check? Because you might have said this earlier and I might have missed it. But the guy who's took over from Alar Moonshadow is called Kale something or other. Isn't he now in charge of the city? Isn't he like top guy?
Yes, and I mean he's clearly been doing stuff because the city's functioning.
Yeah.
But almost again in that, like, you never had much contact with him. He was a nomad leader.
Yeah, I don't think we've. I don't even think we've seen him or spoken to him or anything, have we?
Nope.
No, not while you've been in the city. Definitely, like I said, definitely seems to be sat back running things as opposed to down in the thick of it.
Okay.
Although interesting start to your rule to have
A pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic, but also to remember is this isn't the city he lives in.
Oh, okay. So he was just
It's
here
not
for the
that.
ceremony.
Yeah, so it was this city because this is Alar Moonshadow's city. His city is the one that's further over. Because he's nomadic, but he sort of had to represent an area when he was moving his way up the political sphere.
Avahet or
Bristol.
He's called Elder Kale Stone something or other, isn't he?
Oh, he was a dwarf, wasn't he?
Dwarven elder from the Andanites.
Got
Doesn't say. I'm using our new wiki and notebook.
No. On the wrong map, sorry.
Doesn't say. I've not got anything in here about specifically where he's from.
He is from Avahavet.
Oh, spell that.
Avhavet.
If you're in Roll20, it's on in the Xanagaeth side of the Versal.
Yeah. So he's probably there and probably not coming anywhere near that quarantine city.
He got out quick.
Well, I mean, he'll have left after the festival. But yeah, sorry. So, they will leave, and sort of there's a bit of a procession of a few. They're taking definitely, and it's clear to those of you with any sort of perception, or even insight, they're taking like people who can give testimony. It's like there's the priest that are going with is like Brother Theo and some of the others that were cured. There also there's some civilians that seem to have been asked to come with that are, not in formal nice clothing by any means, but they're in their best clothing, as it were, as they're going up to the main administration building. You imagine that there is probably like a representative. There are probably like politicians that are part of the Verdant Circle that are the representatives here that will be attending the council meeting, along with Alar Moonshadow, who is still this city's representative.
Head of the uni anyways, isn't he?
Yeah, but on like a political level, they don't just, in the same way as it does here, you don't just lose prime minister, stop being a politician altogether. He's still voted in for his sector, as it were. Yeah. But yeah, so they set off, sort of leaving you to your own devices. So it's like I said, it's up to you whether you want to head straight to Zenith Ward, see Thaddeus straight away. They did in the message back. Dante said they had something interesting or something cool to show you. This last session, they said that the lead casing was done.
We still need that, or
It was a
look,
temporary,
you've not told the NPCs to not continue. They have continued.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we've got anything else to do. I mean, I know we might want to think about preparing. I mean, Aileni has 0 money, or not much anyway. There's nothing that she can think of that she'd buy. And it's this. I think we had at least a day. We had at least some time before they were going to go back into the catacombs, didn't we?
Well, so you've got from today, you've got 2.5 days. So it was going to be like it was 3 days from yesterday.
Yeah.
So basically, you need to obviously respond and tell him, but they're planning to go on the 3rd day, so not tomorrow, the day after.
I mean, I assume that we're not unwilling to help, especially if they're going to pay us. How does everyone else feel?
Well, we're here, and at the moment there's no other cure. So, how much are they paying?
They didn't say. Maybe we could ask that question.
I feel like we've got a lot of weight on our side for that.
I actually think the more people we heal, the more proof there is that we're useful, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think she said last session that they're down to help, and if they get paid, even better.
Liam.
Yep.
I'll do it. So I'll send you a message, but I'll probably want to buy a couple of health potions and maybe a different potion if I can get hold of it.
So basic health potions, you can probably grab 2 or 3 from the temple.
Buy or just given?
Just given, because you've been doing the assistance of. And I say that generally runs for this temple, that as long as you're not running them dry, you can't be taking like 5 off the shelf, but like 1 each, or one of you taking a few isn't.
That's 4 then, because don't forget Ichi.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you take 2 or 3, people then could also take 1 if they need 1 or whatever.
Because I haven't got any, so it'd be good to have.
Well, I have 1 already.
So maybe while we're having to think about the proper next steps, have a look over your inventory, see if there's anything.
I want a potion of haste. Is that something that I'm going to be able to find? I don't know how much it'd be. I've got no idea.
I'll have to have a look, but it is probably something that you can. It's definitely something you can find because of because it's the school of magic that's running the excursion, but you probably will have to pay for it, and I'll have to have a look at pricing and such like that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just wondering if I can. Like,
I'm saying we didn't use the bioluminescent hand potion, did we?
No,
you didn't.
I said I've still got 2 of those.
I didn't even remember about that one.
I always forget. Shockingly.
I haven't really got anything exciting that we haven't then used. I've got a flask of oil still. I've got a flask of holy water.
I've got 2 potions of healing, potion of great healing, potion of fire resistance.
Well, you're doing really well. I had a potion of climbing, but we've used it.
I'm doing really well because I get these stuff and then just never use it.
Probably have used a potion of healing, I'd imagine, a couple of times.
Yeah, I keep picking them up. I keep giving them out, but then I keep picking them up.
Just so it's seen, I'm taking 3 health potions if everyone else seems to be stocked up.
And
there's 1.
Have 3 if you want to have 3.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm pretty much a close and not personal person, so it's nice to have.
Okay. With all you sort of stuff taken stock of, definitely have a think of things that you might want to, like Dante with the potion of haste. In terms of, again, you might still have to buy them, but a definite, easier, quick contact is to ask the leader of the expedition, are you able to get these things? If we, they will have better contacts than you trying to, because there are the normal magic shops are not open at the minute, obviously.
Yep, cool. That's cool. Don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's one of those things where it'd be like, oh, this would be really fun to use it in a really important part of a large fight.
Brilliant.
Okay, so yes, are you wanting to head off to Zenithward after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you still got. No, you actually went and gave it back, didn't you? No, then they gave it you to keep hold of. So they're still parked up round the back, probably a bit dusty now, considering the week it's been left not used. Your little buggy that you borrowed from House Glass, and all piling in, you would be able to start making your way through the quiet. And it's still quiet, but almost, whether it's your own perception or whether it's truly something you're feeling in the air, it almost feels like a little bit more at ease. Can all of you give me perceptions as you're leaving?
Don't know why I bother, but 14. I'm always happy to get a double digit.
Perception. 22.
Okay, so Dante, you probably just jump straight in the driver's seat, focused on going where you're going. So for Aid Lenny, with the 20, you jump on, and there's almost, if you remember, these are the buggies that have like the two front facing and then the two back facing. So you jump in back facing, and there's less people here now, but there's still a few, there's a few guards, there's a few priests, a few other people. But again, especially with the Arcaner having left and gone to the council meeting, it's a bit thinner. And you notice 2 or 3 individuals that sort of stick out. And Vola, you sort of notice them as they're definitely talking about your group, your cart, whatever. And then as Dante starts setting off and pulls round, there's some movement and some, a cart moves in the way. And as it passes, just gone. 2 or 3 hard to tell at this distance. It was maybe 40 feet. They all hooded, but it's like casually hooded in that it's fairly drizzly out. It's not like unnaturally hooded.
But are they like? Are they hooded like the guys that I followed that time? Remember I went off on that?
No, that was more like hooded. This is like trying to keep themselves sheltered from the rain. They're fairly open, having a conversation, but they just sort of look like medium height humans, maybe at this distance. But yeah, by the time you're sort of thinking to have a second look, they're just all 3 of them gone from sight.
I would turn and just quietly say to both the guys in the front, you guys see those people then? They were watching us.
Who? Dante will just start looking around, knowing the fact he's driving.
Yeah, don't be too obvious. No, there were a couple of 2 to 3 guys, hoods on. I don't know. They were definitely looking at us when we pulled out.
Same people who looked for
It
you.
looked like they were mentioning us.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Too far away and they're gone now. I'll keep my eye open.
Not sure with this. Yeah, okay. Let's just be careful.
No joyriding.
Well,
yeah, no
let me steer then.
Okay. Okay, you continue making your way through the chantry, and you actually do pass one of the quarantine buildings that has some people. Again, they're sort of checking in. They're sort of telling them, "We'll be by later. We have cures." And again, there's that just general heightened sense of relief in the air.
Just because I have forgotten something.
Mm-hmm.
Can be beforehand, but just at some
No,
point, it could be like even like now. I'm just igniting the right on my sword.
Okay.
Because it doesn't go off. So
okay. No worries.
5 points of damage.
Okay. Obviously, Eleni, you said you're going to keep an eye out. Volu, are you keeping an eye out specifically for that same group? Or are you just looking out generally?
If Eleni's looking for those specific people, I'll be trying to just look around and notice for anything suspicious.
Okay. Can you both give me secondary perceptions as you sort of make the, even obviously on car vehicle, it's a 20-25 minute journey through the city as you sort of weaving. Dante being a bit slower and careful to not sort of make big scenes or be
I thought
obvious.
you meant Dante being you're a bit slower. That's what I thought you were meant.
No, being slower and more careful.
So that was a 25.
It was a 1, but I re-rolled thanks to my traits, and I got a 16 instead.
Okay. So, Volu, you're noticing a bit of a general increase in movement generally. There's the same workers and the same, people that are doing the general maintenance of the city work that are still moving around. But with the 16, in between some of them, you're noticing the occasional odd person that doesn't really fit the grouping. And where it's sort of summarize the main example that sort of sums it in your head for you is you see a bunch of like tradesmen that are currently unloading like fresh wood and fresh linen and like the general sort of supplies you would stockpile during a sickness, as it were, because again the city's just doing what it would normally do during a quarantine. But you notice from ages ago, it's been ages and ages since you've seen them. But 2 of the street kids that were doing like the hoverboards, slide skateboarding. So you'd seen some of them.
Cavern, weren't they?
You'd seen some of them mixed in with the people under the cavern. But you see one of the younger ones, one of the tieflings that's just sort of in with the group, sort of helping shift stuff, but also Volu, with your passive insight, like, isn't there to do that. Like, is placed there to look like that's what they're doing, but like maybe looking out, and not sure, but definitely the signs that there's other stuff starting to sort of go on within the city. For Eleni, there are no signs of those 3 people. But over the half an hour, there are way too many signs for you to ignore. And it starts off with things like the bushes you are approaching softly rustle for a moment. could have been the wind, maybe not. But and it's like the first time you pass it, and like genuinely, Eleni, the first time you pass it, it's like that really, really could have been the wind. And then the fourth time it happens, and then the sort of stuff like on rooftops that you're passing, birds just like dispersing and all like panicked in direction. That sort of almost as if a hawk had just flown overhead vibe. That's how panicked they just. And again, happens once, not so weird. Twice, starting to get weird. Third time, you never ever see them, even with the 20, even with the level of perception and the way you say keeping out, but you are certain you are being followed.
Can I just, because I am paranoid, can I use my primeval awareness? And obviously, I know I've got,
Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you amounts though.
No, it wouldn't, but it would tell me if there was something unusual like fiends or dragons or undead or anything like that, as well as the elemental. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can.
I'll knock off a slot, but yeah, it's aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within 1 mile.
So there are elementals and fae.
Okay, so no fiends, which is good.
You never really understood where fiends came from.
The abyss. If you imagine the devils are
no. I mean,
in this world,
because they people started throwing up quasits. That's not a normal thing from this corruption.
No, it's not.
Remember, there was also that thing in that portal.
And also
the string man.
String
man.
Do you remember we found that note that was about causing as much chaos as possible?
Yeah.
But also, very few people have vomited closet since.
I mean,
that's my
away with this
that's my point,
haven't we? We still don't know if there's something else going on that we've just forgotten about because we've been busy.
I'm not gonna lie. That's played on me a couple of times. I should bring that up. Forget every time.
It also might be something that's not for you to be able to deal with in this moment.
How fast is the car going?
Super fast.
Not crazy fast, moderately quick.
Well, no. To be fair, we said we're being a bit
we
nonchalant.
were slowing down, didn't we?
Yeah.
And whereabouts are we right now, Liam? How far are we from Thaddeus's?
You're 5 minutes away, about to ascend up the Zenith Ward staircase.
I'm going to first of all very, very quietly just sort of almost like behind my shoulder without turning around, just sort of, look as if I'm scratching my neck, but I'm going to tap Volu on the shoulder and go, definitely being followed. I'll meet you there. And I want to do 2 things in quick succession. I want to wait till we're like turning a corner or going down a side street or something and use my bonus action that lets me go invisible for 6 seconds for a turn. But then I also want to cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
And I want to become just one of the random tradespeople I might have seen near the temple. Or, just become human, ordinary clothes, nondescript, and just sort of like hover. I don't know, I'm trying to think what I could be doing. I want to almost sort of appear at the side of a road, just sort of as if I'm busy, but watching what's going on.
Okay, give me a stealth. I'm going to say it's with advantage.
Okay.
For your extras, is you're going to invisible, dive off, and shift.
That's 15. I'm glad I had advantage because I rolled a nat one as well.
So I'm just going to throw out there. Past perception of 9. Your stealth was 15. Dante has no clue you left.
I just told you I was leaving.
No, you told Volu.
Well, then Volu can tell you.
And I'll say you sort of managed to you manage to sort of position yourself, and there's a set sort of some areas where they're taking down or fixing up cordons and stuff like that, and you sort of join in with some other workers that are doing something.
Yeah.
And then give me a perception.
That is 22.
Okay. There is nothing for a while. And from where you are, you can see the cart that the guys are in just sort of slowly, leisurely making its way, winding up the path towards the Zenith Ward before slowly disappearing over the crest. And maybe about 5 minutes pass before there is a smell like freshly burnt wood.
Okay.
But like burnt to cinders, but like almost as if you were walking through a house that has just been put out after being burned to the ground, sort of vibe.
Yeah.
And it sort of fills the air for the second, to the point that like a few of the other workers are like, is there a building on fire? Check down that way. And some of the people that you are with sort of disperse a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
I would also
And
stop and look around. When they say is there a fire, I would follow suit and sort of stop and look as if I'm looking for a fire.
as you're sort of looking around as if you're looking for a fire, definitely in stealthed positions, but not stealth, are 3 figures on the roofs that are sort of closing on your position. However, as you're sort of looking and noticing, there is one of them that you sort of lock eyes with for a second, and under the hood and at the height, there's just like a red flare before they disappear in like a smoke puff. And as you sort of look around, there's like, as they just seem to disappear. But don't seem to. And in this space, Lenny, this is a good, decent bit of courtyard. You couldn't just misty step out of sight and follow them. Do you know what I mean?
Does anybody else see that happen? Is anybody else noticing this person just disappear into smoke?
No, and as you're not just that, so that people are around but sort of dispersing a little, and as you sort of look to see if anybody is noticing, there is somebody goes, there is a building on fire, quick, gather water, and there does seem just round the corner to be one of the apartments that is now not like ablaze, but there is a small flame happening in the downstairs of one of the buildings.
Can I still see the other two, or know where they are?
No, as you look, they disappear.
Right, and when you're doing that, is
They
that...
They missed all. They're all Misty stepping.
They've teleported or done something.
You would recognize Misty Step. You've seen Dante do it in this style.
Okay.
So you know. So to be clear for Eleni, you know they haven't followed up to the Zenith Ward. It doesn't have the range to get them, but they have definitely gone. They noticed you, noticed them, and dipped.
But I don't look like Eleni, so they just don't want to be noticed by anyone. Hopefully.
Or they had a way of seeing you shift.
Did any of them have those stones that those people were looking at when
No.
they thought it was being tracked last time?
No. And actually for Eleni, their movement was almost a little bit more bestial. It wasn't like when they were moving in the street, it was stood upright, humanoid. When just before the one Misty stepped away, it was like all 4 skittering across not like inhuman, but definitely not completely.
I don't like that.
and you wait another 4 or 5 minutes. Obviously, people sort of rope you into sort of getting buckets, and the fire itself is put out very quickly.
I would help, but I would help until I thought they had it under control, and then I'm going to go.
Okay.
Because I want to get up to the Zenith Ward and catch up with these guys.
Okay, so you give it a minute, and over that time that you're helping, there's no more signs of them. There's no more sort of, you don't see anybody sort of following on after, and eventually break away and start making your way up.
I mean, this disguise lasts for an hour. Would it get me all the way there?
Oh yeah, easy, even on foot.
Okay.
In the meantime, in that time, the cart will have gotten you to the House Glass estate. Very eerily, you're usually greeted by 2 or 3 attendants at the gates that are manning it. There is nobody there. The gates are just shut. Doesn't look like the factory is working or open, if that makes sense. To Dante and Boldu, what would you like to? You're not seeing anybody moving around. I mean, you know that you will have been seen, the big glass windows that sort of definitely will, but you can't see into them. So it's. Do you want a message? Do you want to send anything, or do you want to just sort of wait until
Just go in and knock?
Well, they said the gates are barred, iron shuttered, and the outer gates. Because remember that where his personal lab is, that is the factory for House Glass.
How tall is it?
Only about 10 feet. It's not like
I could throw you.
Could we just not message and say that we're here?
You're not.
You're not here.
I'm not there.
He was expecting us. Can we try and get his attention anyway?
I can throw you.
Any other way? Can we get out the car and maybe wave?
Or you could cast a spell.
True.
Or throw this stone. They say you shouldn't throw stones at glass houses, but thank you.
I'll just try and make some movement to indicate and show who I am.
I'm going to throw a rock.
If that garners any response.
I'm throwing a rock. It doesn't have to be a big one. Doesn't have to be particularly smashing anything. But I'm just going to try to hit one of those windows.
Well, Thaddeus is expecting us.
Would you really do that?
I'm trying to
Why would you do that?
No, but I'm not saying I'm throwing a brick through a window.
You're going to throw a stone at a window.
Yeah, but how say in the kind of rom-com,
a very, very, very a pebble.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's fine. You could definitely throw a pebble at a window. Boldu, what are you going for?
Make him do a strength check, and then I accidentally yeets it.
Just the entire glass wall just.
Yeah.
It hits that perfect point, like on buses, where it's like that whole window just shatters.
It's like an ancient stained glass thing that they've had for 1,000
No,
years.
it's fine. He could throw some pebbles.
Like how say everybody's mind immediately went with.
You said rock.
You did say.
You did say rock. There's not a pebble.
Thing to me. It's something on the ground. You pick up, you chuck.
And you'd followed the "let me throw you over there" Volu, and let's just break into this place instead of maybe knocking or ringing or asking people.
I said that first. I said that second. Sorry. So.
Hello, Thaddeus was expecting us.
Yeah, it was far away. I thought.
Okay, so there's maybe 2 or 3 minutes of commotion before an attendant does sort of pop their head out the door, and you can see that they are a middle-aged gnome that's sort of eyeing you cautiously. What do you want?
I spoke with Thaddeus yesterday. He's expecting us. He's been making some things for us. Were the chaotic embers? the ones who got you all this work that you've been doing?
Thaddeus isn't supposed to have visitors. The quarantine, don't you know? Not infected, are you?
We are the cure.
They disappear again for a moment. There's another minute or so before the gates. They will come out to the gates once again and sort of grumpily shuffle over with her. And like as they're unlocking the gate, they do sort of like look you over and just not corrupted, yes.
No corruption. Cure. Produce flame. Blue flame.
Yeah, you can tell that this guy isn't a mage by any means and does not know what that means and is not impressed with your magic shenanigans and is like keeping a good 20-foot distance as they're like, along you go then. You know where it is. I will have to lock up after you have gone.
Cool. Walks in. Well, no, drives in. If the gates.
Thank you.
Do not touch anything.
Already drove past.
And they will start locking up the gate again. Again, as you start to move through, you can see that there is light staff in terms of probably the staff that live on the estate and maintain the estate and things like that. But the usual hum of machinery and other such craftings have completely died away. Although the noise of ringing is almost now easier to follow as you get deeper into the complex, the only factory or lab still making any sort of noise is Thaddeus's personal workshop, which does now have big signs on the outside that say, by order of the government, no people allowed in. As you arrive, you can see that the main shutter is down, but the side shutter is open, and you can hear the ringing of work going on inside.
We'll just lean over to Bone and go, probably should have told them we've got somebody else coming.
Oh, well.
She can sneak around, I'm sure. You want to open the door?
Yeah, it's simple enough, isn't it? There's nothing.
You just head straight in. Like I said, you can hear the noise of Thaddeus's work, but much to be honest, it doesn't sound like in this little bubble of space, nothing has changed. Whether you visited him during quarantines or not, that just general ringing of Thaddeus working on something or fixing something, you imagine he's a lot happier now that, again, people are having to be out of his space. He's getting to do some actual work that he enjoys. But you would be able to enter in and move through. In the back corner, you would cast eyes and glance over the vehicle that you guys had given them some time to look over, is now, if you imagine, it's had all its like armor plating and outer shell stripped back, and the sort of the designs of the engine and the inner workings and all that sort of stuff are being studied. And over in one corner, there's like a curtained off area that you can see there's like a bit of a bed and some sofas and some foods, and it very much seems like Thaddeus has taken to living in the workshop during this quarantine time.
I'll kind of like speak out and be like, Thaddeus, it's Volu. Here, like you said.
Yes, give me just a minute. And as you sort of round there, literally, they're working on, again, like last time, they're frantically trying to finish their personal projects. And they currently seem to be working on the sort of talk to Ichi about it was the idea that it would sort of shoot up high and give like a view of high up. And very frustratingly not getting the pieces to fit before they emerge. And I'd say, Eleni, by this time you sort of made it to the top and are sort of walking around the outside of the fence of the like completely dead factory.
I'm still watching, by the way, all the way up here. I'm like watching rooftops, like.
Give me another perception as you get up to the top.
Yeah.
And they would
very paranoid.
It would emerge and come out and say, good to see you are well and not bothered by this infection, corruption stuff. I have not really seen any of it myself, but my sister tells me it is quite terrible out there at the minute. You are well, though, yes?
We are very well, thank you. We've been helping out at the name has gone out of my head. Temple.
Arcanum.
So you found something that can help then when you on your journey out.
Yes, it turns out it's me. Producer's just like a tiny flame on his finger.
I was gonna say not something, someone, and then be like,
yeah. Well, I mean, if there's anything I can do, let me know. I'm assuming you need to figure a way to make it so it's not just you. Can others do this trick?
So I've been concentrating on some water at the temple, kind of like holy water, but with my ability, as it were. We're thinking of potentially trying to turn it into mist, create some sort of rain or something using blessed water.
I mean, something like the steam engine turns a small amount of water into. It is a slower dispersal. I do not know if it needs to be as concentrated. Well, either way, if Arcana needs any assistance, let them know that House Glass will be willing to help. In the meantime, and they begin to lift this piece out before they are and they put down what looks like a very bulky but normal-ish sheath. As they go, this is your lead, just a lead sheath thing. It is the right dimensions for a greatsword. It is heavy, but it is as thin as I could go with. I had a mage come by and clarify that it is thick enough. There are no holes, but it is at least sword shaped and easier to carry. It will also fit in the bag of holding, which made me think of something else, Dante. You said before you were leaving that you were going to be in need of a new greatsword potentially.
Yes, I'm currently using a basic one here.
Well, and he moves over to where and again, says well, but just stops speaking to you and moves over to the other side of the factory where, and I'll flip back to Eleni quickly. What was your?
It was an 18.
Okay, you again don't see anything, but you still feel uneasy.
Okay.
Are you planning to make your way in through the normal?
I would head to the main door.
Yeah.
Head to the way we normally go in.
And to be honest, we're doing it the way Vola would just sort of shouting again. That same grumpy-looking gnome will appear and Who are you?
I believe my friends will already have arrived. A skinny human bloke with very short red hair and a halfling. Did they come through here? We had a call from Thaddeus to come and meet him.
More of Thaddeus's visitors, and again he sort of just grumbles and comes out and unlocks the door, and again takes a very cautious but large step back away from you while you enter before locking up the door again. And it's going to take, it's going to take you a minute again to get over. You're not on the cart, so you're just walking through the complex, so it's going to take you a second. As you're moving,
am I still disguised? Not
yeah.
The hour's not up yet. Okay.
Yeah. There are 2 birds that are moving kind of funny. Very, very high up, almost just specks, but like circling the house class residence.
Oh, I don't like this. Are there any other birds that look normal?
I mean, yeah, you can see it, pick them out.
I'd
like but not doing this, if that makes sense. It's what they're doing that's odd, not the look of the bird.
But I want to see if I can catch the attention of one of the birds that looks normal, because I can speak to birds even though I can't understand them back. Okay.
Yeah, you can try and get close enough to. There's sort of like a pair of crows that are sort of pecking at something on the surface.
Crows would be perfect. I'd sort of go up and just sort of say, morning, it's a good day for worms. I don't know if you've noticed, but it looks like there's a couple of birds trying to encroach on your territory over there. I wouldn't want them to come and steal anything from you. I'm just thinking about how crows naturally behave, and they tend to be a little bit territorial, and they
give me a persuasion. Or is it? I can't remember if it's persuasion with B speech, or is it? I never know whether it's advantaged.
It's advantage on all character checks to influence them.
So I say you can, or you can advantage that. You can either advantage persuasion, or you can advantage animal handling.
I'll do animal handling. So, that's a nat 20.
Nice.
For a total of 27.
Okay. So they chitter back at you, and one of them sort of hops out and sort of like takes a look up. And it's sort of like chitters in a way that sort of gives you like it's almost like ruffling. It felt like too small for me, sort of like that sort of vibe is the impression it gave you. But they do, so it doesn't look like they're like attacking, but they do. They slowly sort of like pick up the things they were picking at, and sort of head over and sit on there's like a tree on that side of.
For me, it's enough just to sort of have those birds watching these other pretend birds in case, just to sort of raise a bit of an alarm. Because, like I said, if they started doing anything too weird, the other birds would attack. The crows would attack them, or they'd at least protect their territory. I will carry on heading towards Thaddeus's workshop now that I've done that.
Okay. I'm flicking back to Dante. As you sort of follow them over, there is a bench that is they've almost like covered it with a large cloth, and as you sort of you realize that he's been talking the whole time. As you sort of like you arrive to a procession of, and I'll be honest with you, Dante, I'm not normally a blacksmith. This is my first. Well, I've done some metalworking, but this is my first weapon, as it were. However, I think, again, little favour called in from my friend yesterday who visited to help out with the enchantment stuff. And voila, and he like pulls back. And what you see is a great sword made from the outer armour plating of the Aether Stream vehicle. And as it sort of peaks to the top, it's rather than joining symmetrically in the center, it's almost like slightly curved at the tip. And the very, very tip edge is the bit that has Volu's permanent chaotic embers flames still just burning on that piece, because it doesn't matter if you take the piece of armor off, it will permanently burn there.
That looks lovely. May I?
Please, please. As I said, it is my first sword, never mind sword of this magnitude. The mage said it was decent enough to enchant. Now, I haven't gone crazy on it, but as you pick it up, it is exceptionally well balanced. Yeah, you can almost spin. There is a bit, obviously, of a difference. You notice again.
Well, a great sword out.
With it having that curve.
I'm a big guy. I'm strong.
Yeah, not quite.
So yeah,
but it's almost curved at the top. Mechanically, it is a +1 greatsword.
Thank you. And there's only one kind of slightly annoying thing about that, then. Is that I'm going to have to put my right on this one now. So that's more damage done to me.
You don't necessarily have to.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
As I'm kind of like running around, I'm like, I let these kind of like, say that arm start to light and glow and burn, and have it shoot down from my arm into the sword as it catches on fire.
And as it does, it lights up almost through like the inner ridges in between the armor plating that sort of makes the sword's outer shell. Dante, as it moves down the blade, there are soft and it's almost giving off puffs of steam and smoke as it down that aren't yours. It seems to be a function of the metal or the material.
I like it. Thank you, Thaddeus.
Well, if you are going to be fighting with all these corrupted things, I felt you might need something appropriate.
Awesome.
Is there something you could organize in the grounds maybe to test it out?
I mean, there is nobody out there. Feel free. Right, Ichi is back at the hotel training the dog, unfortunately.
All the sausages have gone.
And Eleni, you would be able to sort of catch up. You would sort of enter the workshop as Dante's new sword,
looking like a human in brown wool spun clothes.
Yeah, so they would potentially an odd look from Thaddeus, probably first of all, who's like, no, we don't have any deliveries today. It is a quarantine.
As he says that, I would then drop the disguised self and.
Eleni. Well, you were just in time. And if I'm right in thinking that Ichi, I'll say that Ichi probably, because Ichi has the bag of holding, doesn't he? So he probably would. Well, it's up to you. Would you have given it? Would you have wanted him to hold it at the temple and keep looking after it there, or would you wanted him to have?
Well, if we were coming to get the sword, we would have took the bag of holding off him.
Would we?
I don't know.
In the bag of holding. Would we?
Yeah,
well, it's up to you, because you were coming to get the casing for the sword. So
I really don't remember why we asked for the casing.
It was because we weren't sure if we could get the sheath made in time, and we weren't sure whether we could have a bag of holding, and then we were given one.
Okay. And now you've got a cool greatsword in that.
Like I said, I checked all of the footage. At no point did you tell them to stop doing what you put in motion.
Yeah, cool. I'm just saying I don't remember. I'm not saying it.
It was because you asked him to melt down the lead box that was trackable. And you sort of said, could you melt it down into a sword-shaped thing that's a bit easier to carry? And he was like, yeah, I'll give it a go.
And he's
But
made
yes, if you don't have the bag of holding, that's fine.
greatsword.
But it means that Eleni is carrying the lead box. It is essentially a lead box, just sword shaped.
I don't know if I would be carrying that, because if I did, how would that have worked while I was disguised self?
No.
No,
on the way back,
on the way back.
you've come to pick up this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you either have the bag of holding with you and you're putting it in the bag of holding, or you left it with Ichi, and I'm fine for either. I'm just letting you decide because it wasn't specified beforehand.
I sort of assumed we'd left the sword with Ichi in the temple, but it's up to
yeah. I mean... Well, now that you say that, probably we did.
Yeah, I think we
because we're only getting the lead thing anyway, so we're bringing it back, and like there's a chance that if we pulled the sword out here, that instantly it could be noticed. So it's probably better to keep it there. Essentially, does this mean we could have 2 great swords? Well, like if in the middle of a battle, if it's getting to shit, could we unsheath Tenebris's sword from this sword and then have another great
not
sword?
from this sword. So he's given us a something to sheath, but we've also got this other sword as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was for some reason thinking he'd made the sheath a weapon in itself, and I was like, "That's badass."
Essentially, he's made you a customized lead box that is the rough dimensions of a greatsword, instead of you having a big box that has all the cushioning.
And he's also made a sword, and he's also made a great sword.
And they made a great sword out of the.
I combined the 2 things together and made. And he's made a great sword that functions as a lead container for Tenebris.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be absolutely awesome. But
yeah, you would. I'd say that you'd have some time to sort of spend and sort of practice. Already, he is sort of talking, and he would sort of summon one of the attendants to give a message to his sister, and he would mention about the fact that be ready to offer assistance to the council in if they need wider distributions and those sorts of things. He would sort of, is there anything else you needed me for, or I'll be honest, we're just going to bunker down and stay away from it all.
There's only one other thing, Thaddeus. I assume that you're still guarded here. You still have security, more than just the gnome on the door, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. There's something going on. There's something strange happening. I want you to make sure that you stay safe in here.
What have you seen?
We were definitely followed. They were definitely magic users. I saw them misty step. But also, there are 2 birds outside that aren't actually birds.
And as you ponder over that thought, that is where we will call the end of part 1 of this episode. Thank you very much for listening. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the adventures so far, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll